Hey y'all, so I'm excited to be back in this client's bedroom today. This is the one that we said we're going to have to make some changes for, and I will share that video with you at the end if you did not see it. So I'm about to get started. The first thing I'm going to do is move these curtains to the other wall, and then I'm just going to be buzzing around the room. So thank you for joining me. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so, and let's get going. If you saw my last video, I said in that one that I was not thrilled with those curtains on this wall with the wallpaper. And originally, when we did that wallpaper over there, we were not thinking the curtains were going to go over there. Loved the curtains, just didn't love them with that green wallpaper. So I decided when I got there today, I was going to move the bird sage curtains to this wall and put them over her little closet doors. They really show up better over here, and I love the way that they turned out. They just didn't show up on the green. So that's what I was doing first. I got all the others off, and then there was a whole thing about the pack that I got. I thought had 4 panels, and it only had 2. So Kelly ended up coming in there at one point, and we kind of discussed how we were going to make the changes, and I had to make another change as usual, but we figured it out, and it all worked out in the end. But you know, it's just a trial and error kind of thing. When you're decorating, you just have to figure out what works best. So as you can see, I was working on my flexibility a little bit, climbing underneath the bed for the plug, trying to get her touch tone lamp set up for her. That was one of her requests, and so I wanted to make sure that was nice and plugged in and getting her phone charger going. So when I get over here, here's where we had the issue. When Kelly came in, what we decided to do was to put one of each of these green panels on the end and put one of the floral panels in the center. I thought I had 4 and only had 2. Well, we thought that was a great idea and it was going to work. Problem was, over here, this one had a center bracket because this curtain rod is kind of long. So there was no way for me to evenly get that center panel to work. I was kind of having to put half of it on one part of the bracket and half of it on the other. And I fooled around with it for a while, ended up having to screw that other side back on. And I left it this way at the beginning, but I was not happy with it. So when I get to the other curtain, I decide to put both of the floral panels on this window, and that way I could just put one on each side of the bracket. And really, you'll see towards the end, the other really didn't need it anyway, and it looked a lot better when I ended up doing 2 over there. So Kelly had these at home, and they were just what I had been looking for. I didn't know she had those, so she brought them for us to use. I felt like each side of this little area needed a little something else. That is going to be wallpapered the next time I go. I'm wallpapering all of it, but I wanted at least to have it up there for now so we could see how it worked. So I just tried to put the dust ruffle on. Didn't work because she's got to have these barriers on the side of her bed. You can see how that blanket is kind of coming down off of that. I really didn't notice that when I was there, but when I go back, I'm just going to tuck that down into that bed rail so it doesn't hang that way. But with these bed rails that she has on the sides, it's kind of hard to make it look neat if you hang it down, so I'll fold that back in the next time I go. But right now, I was just kind of playing around with pillow placement and a quilt that I brought, a quilt that she had, and I go back and forth, but I kind of landed on this, and it really looked pretty, but it'll look a lot better once I get that tucked in. So I went ahead and put those 2 panels up so she could have an idea of what that was going to look like. I really thought it turned out really nice once it was all done. The blue lamp over there we had in her kitchen, but it wasn't plugged in, it wasn't working, and I needed it in here, so I just moved it over in here. I brought this Christmas greenery home because she's having some people over to see her new spaces, and I wanted there to be a little touch of Christmas in there. I do straighten it up a little bit at the end. And at this point, I was just kind of working on some accessories. We had some other things we were trying to get done that day, so I was trying to kind of finish up in there. And again, that space over there will be wallpapered when I go back. Not sure we're going to do the side that the bird curtains are on because it really doesn't need it on that section. But the other spaces I will finish wallpapering. Just kind of cleaning up, and I think Kelly will be coming back in here in a minute, and we usually kind of will work on our own for a while, and then we'll come back and kind of look at things together and make some decisions. That's kind of what we were doing here, and make a few changes. And just second opinion, it always helps when you're decorating. And here is the final room for today. You see where I put those 2 panels on that wall with the curtains. So I've got one of each on each side of that bracket. Move that little lamp to that dresser, and the panels I put on each side. This is her quilt, and so that was one that her mom actually made. And we just brought in a blue pillow just for a little extra color there. And then that's that end table that I got, and the lamp we moved in. This was a baby bed she had when she was little at the bottom, and then these had some special meaning. This was the 4th panel. I used it as a tablecloth for the table that we had in there before. And then we have our bird curtain panels on this side, and then this pretty armoire that I put the Christmas floral on. So just a sweet little look around this room. She's really happy with it, and it's just come so far, y'all, and we're still going to go a little bit further. A few more details to do, but off to a great start. So the next day, we were working in this client's kitchen. This is just kind of a look at the process. Once we started, it looks like a disaster, but we know it's not going to stay that way. We're just kind of working out spaces around the kitchen to kind of get us started. And then here's some pictures of the final outcome. Just in time for Christmas, we got her kitchen cabinets all organized and did a little bit in the pantry as well. But she got rid of a ton of stuff, and we were joking, but it was really serious. At the end, we ended up with 2 empty cabinets. That has never happened to us in 4 years that we've had empty cabinets in a kitchen, but we did, and that just is because she got rid of so many things. So this was a nice little pre-Christmas gift for her, and she's going to have everything in order when she starts all of her Christmas baking. We were so happy to get that going for her, and we will be visiting her again soon with her next project.